When you are low on ingredients or you're on a budget, cooking healthy meals can be a real struggle. So that's why I have come up with 3 cheap, simple, and delicious plant-based recipes that only require 5 ingredient recipes. Not to mention that each meal has at least 20 grams of plant-based protein per serving. I do all the healthy, gluten-free, vegan, and high-protein recipes on this channel. That is what I am about. So if that is something that you're interested in, subscribe below. Let's get right into these recipes. All right, this lentil curry is amazing. I am a huge fan of curries. I make them at least once a week. They are one of my favorite go-to meals because they're quick, they are delicious, and they're super filling, and they're usually very healthy. They're really hard to mess up. You can pretty much use whatever spices you happen to have on hand. Even if you just have a basic curry powder, that is all this recipe requires. Now, if you don't have curry powder, you can use a mishmash of other curry spices. I'll leave my favorite homemade blend below if you're interested in doing that. But other than that, this recipe is so simple. So let's get right into it. So the ingredients you'll need for this recipe are yellow lentils, fresh ginger and garlic, curry powder, and tomato paste. So we're gonna start by water sauteing our ginger and garlic for a couple minutes, just until they become really nice and fragrant and they have slightly softened. And then we're going to add in our tomato paste. We're going to kind of let it caramelize for a few minutes along with the curry powder. Now again, this is just one blend of curry powder. You can buy it in stores. And then you just mix it all together, let it kind of brown and let the spices kind of infuse the tomato paste. And then you just add the yellow lentils, also known as moong dhal. And then you're just going to give that all a good stir until the tomato paste is well incorporated into the lentils. And then you're gonna either pour water or veggie broth. Water is totally fine, but I opted for veggie broth here. Pour it in, give it a really good stir, and then we're going to cover it with a lid. And we're going to let the lentils cook until they have mostly softened, until they're about al dente. You can taste it, add additional seasoning or salt and pepper, let it simmer uncovered for another 5 minutes or so, and you're done. It's literally like a 20-25 minute meal tops, and I personally love to serve it over jasmine rice, but you can serve it over any other grain you like, or you can just eat it on its own if you're looking for just a really quick light meal. But I personally find rice to be the most satisfying, and why not top it off with a little bit of fresh cilantro if you have it. It is so good. You could also serve this up with some non or gluten-free roti, and this is like so good. A perfect, quick, comforting weeknight meal. Mexican rice, you guys. Mexican rice can be a really hearty side dish or a really nice quick meal. It's also a great filling for burritos or burrito bowls, or you can just eat it by the spoonful in a bowl. Either way, you can't go wrong. It's full of plant-based protein, it's super healthy and delicious, and it doesn't require any fresh produce. So you can pull out all the things from your pantry and get cracking. This meal will be ready in like 30 minutes tops. This recipe requires canned black beans, salsa, cooked rice, fresh or frozen corn, and some chili powder. So we're gonna start by first warming up the corn and the black beans in a large saute pan for about 5 minutes or so, until they are thoroughly heated through, until they're basically steaming hot. Then we're gonna add in the cooked rice and the chili powder. You can also use ancho chipotle powder if that's what you have. And then basically just give it all a really good stir until the rice is well combined into the beans. Now you wanna add a good quality salsa. It could be homemade, it could be your favorite jarred version, and just stir that in. You can use whatever spice level you like. I'm pretty sure I used medium spice here. And then you're just going to incorporate the salsa, mix it through the entire rice dish until it's this lovely kind of reddish color. Once it's cooled down for about 5 minutes, I personally like to squeeze a bit of lime juice over the whole dish and garnish a little bit of fresh cilantro on top. It is so good. It's still delicious without, but if you do have lime juice and cilantro, I highly recommend you don't skip this. This recipe is perfect if you already happen to have day-old rice, but it still works if you just want to quickly cook up a batch of rice in a rice cooker. It doesn't take that long, and then you can proceed with the recipe as I've just shown you. And then one last thing you can do when serving is you can either top it with a dollop of vegan sour cream or a few slices of fresh avocado, and then it makes it a really nice and balanced meal with carbs, protein, and a little bit of healthy fat. And it is just, oh my gosh, so good, you guys. This meal is also perfect for meal prep because if you make a big batch like I did, this could last you like several days or up to a full work week. lasagna soup, you guys. If you didn't know, you could transform lasagna into soup. This is your public service announcement letting you know that you can absolutely make lasagna soup. It is so good. It is so fast, so comforting, so cozy, and it's actually really filling. We're adding red lentils to this recipe, which makes it full of fiber, full of protein, and it is satisfying AF. It's a one-pot wonder. You dump everything, you stir it up, and you walk away. So for this recipe, you'll need lasagna noodles, any kind of jarred pasta sauce, garlic, onion, and red lentils. So first step is that you're going to chop up your onion and finely mince your garlic. And then once you're done that, we're going to warm up some water in a large saute pan, and then we're going to saute the garlic and onion. And of course, if you like to use oil, you can totally use oil for this recipe and the previous recipes that I showed you. After the onion and garlic has sauteed for about 3 minutes until it's nice and translucent, add in the drained and rinsed lentils, give it a good stir, and then you're also going to stir in the full jar of pasta sauce. Once that's all combined, you can pour in some hot veggie broth or water. If you don't have veggie broth, that works fine. Give it all a really good stir, and then you're going to break up the lasagna noodles into smaller pieces. Now, technically, my cooking pan was large enough to accommodate the full strips, but when you're eating a soup, I personally like the lasagna noodles to be shorter so it's easier to eat. And then you can add some Italian seasoning and some salt and pepper, stir that all in, cover it with a lid, and you're gonna let the lasagna noodles and the lentils cook for about 20 minutes or so until the noodles are al dente, the lentils are nice and soft, and it's gonna look something like this. It's a really nice, thick soup. It's got so much yummy texture. The lasagna noodles are just so slurpy and comforting, and this is just such a cozy meal. I have made this many times this winter, and it has just been like the perfect meal when I needed something just to warm my soul. Plus, there's so many ways you can zhuzh this up. You can add extra seasonings, extra spices, hot sauce, more fresh herbs. What I'm showing you is really just the basics, but even with it just being basic like this, it is so good. Plus, not to mention, it's very, very filling. I cannot wait for you guys to try this. So good. If you're looking for more one-pot meals, I recently posted a video right up here. You can check it out. It is full of delicious one-pot meals that are great for meal prep. They're high in protein, they're healthy, vegan, and gluten-free as usual on this channel. And again, if those are the kinds of recipes you're looking for, I got lots of them for you, so subscribe below. Watch this playlist next. I thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope I see you guys again in another video really soon. See you later.